In 2016, I spent 6 weeks travelling through Yunnan and Sichuan provinces of China. I chose these provinces because they are the home of so many of China's minority groups, and they are less populated and have more interesting landscapes. I flew into Kunming, capital of Yunnan Province, and made my way to Shilin Stone Forest. Shilin Stone Forest is a 5A tourist site, which means it's pretty important for China. It was registered as a UNESCO Geopark in 2004. The pillars are made of limestone and were formed by wind and water erosion over the last 270 million years. There are fossils of shellfish and coral in some places. The park has been divided into various scenic areas, with the area closest to the entrance overrun with tourists. Following the theory that 80% of people visit only 20% of sites, I didn't have far to go to get away from the other thousands of visitors. Many of the stones in the Bushao mountain scenic area had names and stories attached to them. According to legend, Stone Forest was a playground for the god Ashima and her lover Ahe. In more modern times, it has been used as a set for some episodes of the Monkey King series, which tells a traditional Chinese story of a Buddhist monk and his animal friends. From Kunming, I took the train to Heijing, a village in the hills well known for its traditional architecture and timeless quality. The transport from the station into the village was certainly timeless. The market was in full swing. Its main product seemed to be mushrooms and fungi of all sizes, colours and shapes. Heijing means black well and refers to its origin as a major supplier of salt since ancient times. Salt is washed out of the mountains by the rain and is collected in deep wells as salty brine. In the olden days it was extracted from the wells, dried and sold on to salt traders. In its heyday, Heijing supplied 70% of imperial salt, which made it pretty important for the country. Salt extraction finished in 2005, and now the town is a major tourist site with its donkey carts, narrow alleys, cobbled streets and old buildings. Deep in the rugged hills of Yunnan Province lies the ancient village of Nuadeng. Said to be 1,000 years old, it lies on the traditional salt horse trading route, which brought sturdy horses down from Tibet in exchange for salt brought up from the flatlands of Yunnan. The land on which this village has been built is so steep and the laneway so narrow that it is impossible for any wheeled vehicles to be used anywhere. Everything is brought into the village by human or donkey labour. Shaanxi was another town on the salt horse trade route, which served as a stopover or trading post, so was much bigger and more important than Nuading. Shaanxi has been recognised as being worthy of preservation for all mankind by the World Monuments Fund, so it has been considerably restored and subtly modernised by a team of Swiss and local specialists and tradesmen. Old Shaanxi had 4 gates. Each gate opened onto a specific trail which led to southern Yunnan or Tibet or in 2 other directions. Navigation wasn't too hard. You just had to leave by the gate which had the name of the place you were going to. By this time I'd had enough of ancient towns and picturesque villages. It was time to head for the hills. I travelled to Dali, which lies between Lake Ehru and the Shan Mountains. I took a cable car halfway up the mountains and walked along the Jade Belt Road, a very civilised hike of about 11 kilometres, which ended at another cable car for the ride back down. The pine tree stands on the spot of another traditional story. Sometime in the distant past, a general and his troops came over the mountains to attack Dali. The general reached this point and decided there was more to life than being a soldier. He turned around and went home to become a quiet and placid farmer. That evening there was the annual fire festival. Once upon a time there lived a famous wrestler of the Yi minority group. He was invincible. One of the gods was jealous of the wrestler's success, so he sent a champion of his own to fight the wrestler. The challenger lost, so the god, in a fit of rage, sent swarms of insects to destroy the Yi people's crops. The champion wrestler organised his people to light torches to drive away the pests. It worked, and ever since then the local people commemorate the victory by having a huge and enormously popular fire festival. It was wild.
下面有这么大的大火把，下面这么大，富华学院那边。
Having enjoyed so much culture, it was time for a spot of nature again in the Shan National Park near Li Ming village. This is another mountainous region with spectacular red sandstone formations towering over the valleys far below. We hired a guide and went for a long hike up and up and up even further. Urged on by inspirational signs. Until we eventually reached Turtle Rock at the very top and had a magnificent view right across the surrounding scenery. The local villagers had a dance area where they practiced their traditional dances every night. It had a paved floor, a fire pit in the centre and walls all around, but was open to the night sky above. They were quite happy for visitors to join in the fun. One of the highlights of Yunnan was a 3-day trek through Tiger Leaping Gorge. Once upon a time, a tiger was being hunted by the local Nasi people. He escaped by jumping across the river at its narrowest point, using a rock in the middle. The view across the gorge to the mountains on the other side was stupendous. They rose steeply, higher and higher, until the tops disappeared into the clouds. Low vegetation clung to the cliff sides, interspersed with rock slides and narrow streams cascading down. I wondered what wildlife could exist on such steep ground and what on earth a tiger would find to do there. The cicadas were never ending and absolutely deafening. After Tiger Leaping Gorge we flew to Sichuan Province, but that will be the subject of my next video.